everyone, what's going on? My name is Timpedia. Welcome back to the TNT Podcast episode gaming.
This is the gaming
video
episode.
Gaming, summer 2024. Games are real, and you can't prove they're not.
Summer 24 gay?
Hey, gamers, you ready for this holiday season? Because if you're not, now you are.
But most of these games aren't coming out till next year, though.
Okay, so with Nintendo's, a lot of them are coming out this year. But yeah, you're right. Most of the games we're going to talk about are not
video games. There's a lot of video games. There was like 20. So, you know how E3 is dead and gone? Well, let me sell you on an idea. What if
tell us why.
What if every single person who ever had a game announcement or had an indie game was like, I'm going to be on main stage at E3. We're going to make a live stream and we're going to show off a trailer. And then there were like 20 fucking conferences within like a 1.5 week period.
It's like E3, but no one has to send their marketing team out. They just send out video streams.
But then there's so many that people don't give a shit.
The weirdest thing, though, is like E3 used to be this time of year. So it's just like E3 itself is dead, but the spirit lives on.
Apparently everyone... Can I just say, this is so funny to me because the whole point of killing E3 was everybody wants to do their own thing, but apparently the solution was everybody do their own thing at the same fucking time anyway and change nothing.
So it's interesting because it felt like that at the beginning where everyone's like, I don't want to have to directly compete. I just want to announce on my own. But then it became a game of, well, if they're going to be announcing their shit, then why am I going to sit around and wait? I better announce it too. So it's like a complete pendulum swings with how they're going.
See, but it still seems stupid to me. Like we have like 8 games we're going to talk about that weren't at the Nintendo Direct, and then Friedman, you wrote a novel about the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, and I left out like a third of the games they announced.
But there's a website that I was just saying where you can find all the game announcements that happened. There were this has got to be at least 200 distinct game announcements that happened.
Man, I still remember early in the year when everyone said, like, video gaming is dead. There's no games announced.
Yeah, you mean like how we said that?
Yeah, like we said it in the last episode. I can't believe these shitty game journalists said this shit 2 weeks ago.
So there's 75 games on each page of this website, and there's 8 pages.
Oh, hold on, before we get too into it, should we introduce who the shitty game journalists are going to be presenting this news to our viewers?
Oh, yeah, I'm shitty games journalist Timpedia, and am I right?
It's Friedman, also known as Andrew, mostly known as Friedman.
And on my left.
Just Tyler, only Tyler. Yeah. Let's get to the fucking games. Let's go.
All right, so lots of games. So we're gonna start off. So most of this is kind of technically called the Summer Games Fest, which is what Xbox called their event. That was one of the big ones for me. There was like Latin America, women in gaming, people of color in gaming. There was like so many different announcement groups, but the one that had like obviously the most. And I'm sure there were tons of AAAs that are going to be great. I'm sure. But one of the biggest ones was the Summer Games Fest, which I believe is the name of the Xbox event, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A bunch of announcements came out of that. We're just going to kind of rapid fire through some of them because I know Tyler wants to and Friedman want to get to the Direct. Or at least Friedman does. So we kind of talked about this a little bit, the three of us on the side. But Doom the Dark Age.
Hell yeah, brother.
See, you know what's funny? So after we watched the trailer, and
Tim.
Tyler, you were
already fuck you.
Tyler was like, "Fuck you, Tim. You didn't like Eternal that much. You're a terrible human being." And then I read that they're like,
exactly.
We kind of want to tone things down and not go as hard as we did in Eternal, and we want to make it more like Doom 2016, where you can use any gun anytime and it'll work instead of not work whatsoever. I'm automatically more on board again. If they're talking about stopping with the combat puzzle shit that they went crazy on in Eternal.
So does it be more just
fuck you, that was amazing.
No, I'm more on board. Plus there's a
Captain America the last
shield
one
spikes.
Yeah. There's that. And then fuck you. And there's a gun that has you put a skull in it.
Oh yeah.
And you use that as skull. Flechette.
Yeah, that's sick.
That's pretty
That's
great.
cool. That's cool. I'm down. That's cool.
I just skimmed through this trailer. Is metal as fuck.
It is.
Also, apparently we're in the era of capes, where everyone has capes now in games. because Doom Guy has a cape, and I think at least a couple other trailers for shit had like their characters wearing capes. So we're in the cape cape time.
And we got Helldivers. Guild Wars 2 has been Cape
A couple
Land
years
for like
ago
3 years now.
a couple years ago it was fucking what's it called? Crossbows and bows. We were in the bow timeline. We were in the gray dimension where every game was gray and brown. Now we're in the cape era.
Because we got the cloth physics mastered.
Oh my god.
I don't know about all that.
Okay, well, it's better than it was last gen.
Maybe I'll finally beat Doom Eternal, and then I'll just not even bother with the DLC that I probably own, and then just go play Doom Dark Age. Because Tyler, correct me if I'm wrong, but the ending of the DLC is like the story of Doom is over. Like there's no more going forward. You did every single thing possible, right?
Honestly, I can't remember. I don't remember playing the DLC for Doom Eternal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yo, shut the fuck up. No, I don't even want to. Do I keep forgetting that DLCs came out because like I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna move on to the next game. Like,
yeah, you do have a lot of games you're playing forever.
Yeah.
It is fun coming back to the game you enjoyed, though.
Freeman's like, I'm going to play one game for 6 months, and it's never going to be finishing Witcher 3. And then Tyler's like, I got a new fucking game to play every other week. I'm just churning through these bad boys. And I'm like, I'm playing one game a year.
Oh, so you say that, but I'm about to drop some major revelations.
Dude, you're wild.
Section.
What do you mean?
I ain't churning through a goddamn thing.
Tyler.
I ain't churning through shit.
Oh my god. Sorry you just picked up like 100-hour top-down JRPG style game.
That's only I think Sea Star is only like a 30-hour game.
Yeah, so
sorry, 30 hours over a
Resident
full day.
Evil.
Bro, that's like a Pokemon game.
Oh my fuck.
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
after I played Resident Evil and I played fucking Sleepy Doggos, which I'm going to talk about later.
Oh yeah, you did play Sleepy Doggos.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is also a long ass game. Yeah, you're churning through as in you have the time to play those.
You're saying 20 hours is a long game?
For me it is.
Bro, I don't know, man. The amount of times I've been seeing you. No.
See me what?
Fucking, I see you on Sins of a Solar Empire.
Sorry I took one night with friends to play a game that I've been playing for over a decade to play one multiplayer match on a Friday night and stayed up way too late and was tired the next day. Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, you're gonna be sorry.
Whatever. Fable. Fable finally got re-announced after going silent for like 2 years. Fable came out with a pretty funny looking new trailer.
It's pretty looking, but is it like, are they depicting a lot of scenes from the original in this?
No, this is not the original at all. This is.
Oh, it's not. It's not a.
No, this is not a
like
remake.
A
No. This is totally different.
Dang.
I don't know when the timeline is. They're talking about heroes, obviously. I'm pointing at the mug. You guys can't see me, but I'm pointing at the mug you guys got me. Or I was given by somebody. I forget. But
Isn't that your wife?
What? Oh, was it Val? I knew I got the heroes.
Yeah,
I remember. I can't remember when I got it, so I couldn't remember. But
I'm gonna tell Val.
She could probably hear me through the wall. Anyway, I'm cautiously interested because as someone who has only played Fable 1 to completion, never beat 2, and never even touched 3, I have spent a third of my life now engaged with the Fable universe, running our D&D campaigns. So I'm still interested to see what a Fable game looks like in today's day and age.
That's a weird way to call you a loser.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tyler. I guess all of our years of friendship mean nothing to you. Sorry.
Oh man, I forgot. We've been friends for like over 8 years now. Is that crazy? Isn't that fucking wild?
I don't know. It wasn't as crazy to me because I was, enjoying the fact that I was reminiscing, but you said fuck you, so.
Dude, I was talking to my parents yesterday, and they're like, how long has your podcast been going? And I'm just like, oh, it's like 5 years. Right? I looked at when episode 0 was. It was 7 years ago. I actually ended up rewatching the Final Fantasy one the other night, and I didn't realize it. But Tim, you deliver the exact same opening line on every episode we've ever done, including the first one. So consistency has been great.
At the one thing in our lives that's been consistent from 7 years ago.
That's cheating because that's the same line he uses for all of his videos.
That would explain the consistency.
Is it?
Have you not?
I don't know. I
Timpedia videos?
haven't recorded a regular Timpedia video in so many years now.
I know. I still watch Timpedia Let's Plays.
Yeah,
bro.
I know.
I think I'm the only one out of the entire group.
Oh, you are. But
I think I've watched at least like 4 or 5 Let's Plays all the way through.
What have you watched besides Jedi Academy?
What did I watch?
I remember watching your old Empire War videos a long time ago.
There's a lot of those.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched your Jedi Survivor instead of playing that game.
Oh, that's right. When you were getting ready for Fallen Order. Or no, you watched Fallen Order for Survivor. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, we're getting derailed.
Off my head.
That's fine.
Dishonored. Yeah.
Oh man, anyway. So Fable looks kind of cool. No gameplay though, so can't really judge it yet. But the video was kind of funny, so I'll take it. Let's see what happens.
Character's pretty good.
Talk about seeing the title card of this kind of shocked me. I never played the old games. I know the N64 game in this franchise is crazy, but new Perfect Dark game. No,
never played.
I played it a little bit, but I never beat it or anything.
Okay, but you played the multiplayer though, right?
No.
Yes, I was dog shit at it.
I played GoldenEye multiplayer. I never played Perfect Dark multiplayer. I didn't know anyone who had a copy of Perfect Dark growing up.
Bro, I'm gonna come over with Perfect Dark. We should play.
That's fine. I'm down. I have the converter box. Let's do it.
Way better than
It's better than GoldenEye.
I believe you. I'm just saying. I'm genuinely can't remember anyone else in my friend group who had an N64. So it was I had the game or no one had the game. The only other people I knew had PlayStations. Hell, I didn't know that many people with gaming consoles when I was that young. Okay, anyway, so Perfect Dark looked kind of cool. Not gonna lie, the trailer was pretty slick. I don't know what it has to do with the original franchise, if anything, but they used the name Perfect Dark, which blew my mind. This is something for you guys. I know that this is the remake, Metal Gear Delta, the remake of 3, right?
Yeah, I ended up rewatching the trailer after my initial hot take with Tyler, and I rescind it. They did keep the gritty fogginess of a lot of the settings, and this game does just look like it's gonna be
you watched the trailer the first time, and you're like, everything's too bright, what the hell?
Yeah, I went back and I double-checked the scenes, and I realized it is still very hazy, so they still have the feel that I remember from the PS2 version. Very excited. They released a second trailer a day later that just had David Hayter injected into the video. So I'm very happy that they're embracing him as the voice of Snake again.
Thank God.
I'm curious how this is gonna go though. From a directing standpoint, if it's gonna deliver the same sort of effectiveness that Kojima being there.
Yeah, I don't know. Because some of these are very not all this gameplay, a lot of this is cutscenes, and I feel as long as they have good fight choreography, the story beats they can keep the same. Most of the dialogue they can keep the same. There'll be some things I remember showing you guys the clip of the hardest scene from Metal Gear where it's them throwing the gun and then having this 6-second chopped shootout. If they're able to keep that flair, great. I don't know if they will. I don't know who's if the director of this game is known for doing this. I don't know who's actually working on this, but it has potential.
Honestly, I really want to know who's working on it. I think I told you guys, right? I like playing videos up, while I work, and I just put games just people play through them.
Yeah.
I'm playing. I have Metal Gear Solid up right now, and I'm like, man, Hideo Kojima has the most the nerdiest fucking unique, not unique dialogue and events I have ever seen. And I'm I honestly don't think his style can be replicated very easily. So I don't know.
I just unlocked a core memory from playing Metal Gear Solid 3. One of my friends called me while I was watching a cutscene. Back then, you couldn't pause cutscenes. So I'm just watching, and you're at the bit where you're disguised as Raidanovich or whatever the fuck his name is, and you go up to the general, and the general just grabs your balls. And I literally was on the phone. I was like, "Oh, I gotta go. Something's going on in this cutscene. I'll be right back." So like, I don't know how they're gonna handle that.
Something's going on in this cutscene. Yo, is he gonna grab his balls again this time?
I feel like he has to. They gotta keep the implication that he's gay, but hiding it. Otherwise, it would tarnish the character. General, what's his face? Anyway,
General, what's his face? Next on the list, this is a game that I years ago might have been more excited by, but Dragon Age 4 Veilguard. I still never even played Inquisition, so I don't know.
Michelle was upset, but since the gameplay came out, she's like, it's possible this could be salvaged.
Does it look good?
I saw a lot of comments that were like, the first trailer looked like shit, but then the gameplay trailer actually looked pretty good. But
you know why?
But didn't they say that like you only get like 3 abilities and no direct party control and all this jazz? It's like even more simplified combat than before.
Yeah, you know what they made it like play like, Tim? They made it play like Mass Effect.
Yeah, but like
someone who hasn't played any of the Dragon Age games, this game
want
that.
Pretty cool. But like I liked playing an RPG. I enjoyed that.
Wait, you have 3 abilities. There's an ability wheel like Witcher where you can just swap out what's on your wheel at any time.
Can you? Oh, I don't know.
Be more accurate. It's actually more like Mass Effect. You haven't played Mass Effect for even.
I played Mass Effect 2, but it's been so long that I don't remember what the combat UI for that game looked like.
I mean,
you're literally looking at it. You're literally looking at it from Mass Effect 2.
I mean, Mass Effect was fine, but like Mass Effect was a shooter. Dragon Age isn't a shooter.
There's a lot more movement in combat than I remember in Mass Effect.
Yeah, but it's not a shooter. The whole reason I wanted to play Mass Effect was because you had a gun.
Yeah, but what's the difference? Whether you're slinging bullets or spells, you're slinging projectiles.
But not everyone's a mage. I mean, that's the objectively correct way to play like almost every Mass Effect or Dragon Age game, but still, like.
You said the same thing twice.
What?
Instead of you being Commander Shepard, you're just some fucking guy. Like, listen, all these BioWare games are the same, all right?
Yeah, it sucks. That's part of why I like Dragon Age 1 and Mass Effect. I remember playing those games back to back and being like, wow, these are so different. This is great. I fucking love this. And then Mass Effect 2 was great, and then Dragon Age 2 was fucking not good.
Yeah, I want to replay Mass Effect 2 at some point.
That is the best one objectively in the series.
I think it was just the first one that came out on PS3.
You're probably right.
That one.
I mean, 1 is hobbled a lot by how fucking slow the gameplay is.
But they redeemed it with the legendary. You never played the legendary edition.
I didn't. I want. It's something. If I had the time, I really would like to play through it all. Like this would be the 3rd time I'd do a full playthrough, but like I would totally do that.
Wait, did they fixed up 1 in the legendary collection?
Yeah.
Listen, when I tell you that this is the way you play this game,
yeah,
definitively you should play it.
We talked about it when you played it.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, on the podcast, I remember we talked about this.
You know I forget things.
I know, and that's why I'm reminding you.
You should also all right, and then you also remember that I told you to download mods, right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, good. Because listen, the Mako going at fucking 10 miles an hour is for nobody, okay? No one wants that.
Okay, hold on. Now we're okay. I gotta literally break myself because I wanted to have a conversation about the Mako, but whatever. We'll move on. No, I want to, but we shouldn't because we're already 20 minutes in and we still have more games to cover before.
The Mako parts suck. They always sucked. Giving them more speed makes it better.
No. I'm not disagreeing at all. I'm just saying it was fucking cool to drive around on a planet with the little... Like, as frustrating as it was sometimes, it was cool to bop around in this rover shooting shit. And then what was their solution in the other games? Just don't do anything. Land in
what do you
land
mean?
In a box.
No, you're wrong. In 2, they had the Stingray thing.
What?
What? Oh, did you forget?
Are you talking about the DLC thing where you have the little hovercraft?
No. Well, yeah, but it was also in the main game too. You
Are
have
you
the
sure?
hovercraft thing. Dude, I literally played this game less than 2 years ago.
Okay. I could have sworn they didn't have anything, and I was like, this sucks.
They did. They did. They didn't have anything in 3.
They just needed... Look, the DLC 2 floater thing was probably the best thing. That was cool,
Yeah,
where you could just zip, 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 float around, shoot quick. That was fun. It was better than nothing, okay? Like, that's why I hate when everyone's like, the Mako's the worst thing ever. It's like, no, it was still a cool idea. They just did it poorly. But, like,
You're the
exploring a
only
planet...
person.
I know I'm not. That's not true.
All right, maybe 1 out of 5. I apologize.
All right, Freeman, life is
Life
strange
is
all over
strange.
again.
All right, I'm going to talk about this. So, Life is Strange Double Exposure got announced. For anyone out of the loop, the main character of the first game, Max Caulfield, she is the main character of this one, so it's good to have her back. It's upsetting because the studio that did Life is Strange 1 and Life is Strange 2, Don't Nod, is no longer responsible for the franchise. Instead, Deck 9, the company that made the absolutely shitty Life is Strange Before the Storm and the just okay Life is Strange True Colors, is doing this one. First trailer's out. They changed the engine. Everything looks a little wonky. It's still very much a Life is Strange game where it's character gets superpower, then your decision matters. And this one is there's like dual timelines that you can jump between them to try to figure out why a murder that happened in one didn't happen in the other. Overall, I'm excited. I like Life is Strange. I didn't play True Colors just because I heard mixed things about it, but I'm very much down to follow Max's adventures again. But it stirred up a pretty big controversy when they showed the release model. So just like the other games, it's going to be released episodically. So I think 5 chapters that come out every like month or 2 months. The problem is, if you buy the premium edition, you get the chapter 2 weeks early, which is a problem when the whole appeal of Life is Strange is that it's a story game and the whole community discussion is
Spoiler.
the biggest thing about it. So it's just for 2 weeks, there's spoilers out there and you got to avoid them. So you're fragmenting the community. And like, it's like, imagine Netflix charged for Netflix Premium where you get a new episode of Bridgerton 2 weeks early. Like, that would just
Can I just say, the internet fucking sucks. Like,
it really does.
This is where we're falling back again to, like, God, I'm so glad I spend barely any time on social media or follow things much, because, like, it seems impossible to not get ruined on stuff these days.
It's pretty brutal. Thanks to algorithms, I know spoilers for the next 2.5 seasons of Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh my God, that sounds
completely against, like...
Against your will.
Against my I had nothing to do with it. I don't follow any Jujutsu Kaisen content, but I already know who died, and it's a lot of them. So,
oh my God, that sounds miserable.
Super annoyed. But Life is Strange could be good. I'm not playing this at launch. I am probably gonna be busy in some other game. I'm definitely gonna wait to hear reviews about whether it is good or not, because I got way too hyped about Life is Strange 2 and then got let down. So I'll let the community decide what the deal is with Double Exposure before I jump in. But I think it's coming out next year. Yeah. All right, and then let's talk about the new Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 33.
Expedition 33.
Final Fantasy, if it was made by France.
This one looks cool. This looks like we got our Final Fantasy X style turn order in a darker action RPG, except the main character sounds like he's voiced by Clive, because I think it's the same voice actor.
I think it is.
So it's
same voice, yeah.
It's got vibes. The only thing that's wonky for me is the font they chose while you're in combat is like the dumbest looking thing. It's like,
that's so specific. That's
like I don't know. Watching the trailer, the gameplay.
I'm not
fine,
disagreeing.
But, like,
I'm just saying that's a hilariously specific statement.
Every word and number that came up on screen was like too large, too bold, and too Comic Sans. So I'm just like, what is that? But it looks really cool. Yeah,
it definitely has a cool aesthetic, and the whole it feels very, like you said, very Final Fantasy with like, so apparently one of the podcasts I listened to had a bit of a story about this. Basically, the super origins of this game is potentially it was like Eidos Montreal years ago pitched a Final Fantasy game made in the West, because they're owned by Square, right? Isn't Eidos owned by Square or something like that? Okay, so during that time they pitched a Final Fantasy made in the West called like Project J or something like that. And then they said no, and then a bunch of them got laid off or quit, and then they founded a new company and they started something called Project J, and then it turned into Expedition 33. So it seems like this is made by like crazy hardcore Final Fantasy fans who wanted to who pitched their own Final Fantasy game and weren't allowed to make it. So now they're making their own Final Fantasy in their own backyard.
Yeah, so this will be the first game
Yeah,
by
with Blackjack
Sandfall
and
Interactive.
hookers.
I was gonna say that.
But it is the first time I made it seemed like it was Xbox exclusive. I think it's launching on all non-Switch platforms next year, or maybe not next year. They don't have a date yet. But
Probably
it's
game day one,
Day
Game Pass.
Day one Game Pass. Yeah, I think they had that in the trailer though.
But yeah, that looks pretty
brother.
sick. Once a year, she paints, and everybody doesn't like the colors. And then this is
I'm down.
This is just to throw this on here. Civilization 7. I haven't really played since I touched 5 for like 5 seconds, and then I played Civ 4 for like a chunk of my life now has been spent on Civ 4 between playing games with Alvin and Ed. But it's cool that Civ is still going. All the comments were, great, I can't wait to play it once the second expansion pack comes out and the game actually gets good. That's how literally every Civ goes.
Yeah.
Civ 4 got way better in Beyond the Sword. Civ 5, I heard, got much better in the first or second expansion. Civ 6, I think the same thing. So, yeah, everyone's like, Civ 7, give it 2 more years after, and it'll be great. But, yeah, that's just a smattering of the hundreds of games that had trailers and announcements and stuff. But that was a lot of, like, the AAA-y stuff that we might be interested in. But Friedman, this one came much later after the other announcements. This was, I think, today?
This was today, yeah. So it was like 48 hours ago, Nintendo tweets out, we are holding a Nintendo Direct. No, we are not talking about the Switch successor, which makes this the second Direct in a row for them to acknowledge a console that they haven't announced yet. But the question in everyone's mind is, if they're not announcing the Switch 2 and they have no games coming out this year, what is Nintendo going to sell us on? And they had a lot. I'll start with the grand finale, because the last thing they showed at the Direct was the Metroid Prime 4 trailer. Up until now, we've seen and heard absolutely nothing about this since it was announced forever ago. Because I know it was originally development, and they canned it, and they restarted development, and now they finally put out a trailer for it. And while the trailer wasn't the most graphically impressive ever, the fact that we have a gameplay trailer is phenomenal news. It means this game is definitely totally real and will definitely release. I'm probably not going to play it just because I would not that I'd rather. I'd still want to go and do Metroid Prime 1, 2, 3, because I've only played 3 on Wii. But Metroid fans, congratulations, you have a new entry. In the meantime, Zelda fans are eating good too. So for anyone who liked the Link's Awakening, almost, I don't want to call it 2D HD because that's not what it is, but like the top-down 3D chibi style Zelda game. They're releasing another one in the same engine, but this one, for the first time in nearly forever, Zelda's the main character, not Link.
When was the last time that happened?
Where Zelda was the main character?
Yeah.
I don't think it ever was. Okay. Yeah, it never was. I was like, I should be the resident expert on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she never was.
Yeah, between this and Peach having her own games, Nintendo figured out that anyone can be a main character.
In an already established franchise, longer than most game companies have existed.
I mean, honestly, though, if you think about it, though, without getting too into it, Zelda is technically the main character of all the most, if not all, the Zelda games.
This is in fact
at least all the mainline Zelda games. Yeah, like Link's just there. He's like, I'm collecting shit, but like she's the one who's like, puts the exclamation point on everything. She always gets the light arrows. She always like Link has to go through a bunch of shit, but like she's like there. She's like the linchpin.
Yeah,
it's true.
Anyway, graphically, it looks pretty good. I haven't played Link's Awakening. I was trying to pirate it and failed.
Yeah.
But
oh my God,
it looks fun. New one that I was a little questionable on. So I used to be a big fan of the like Mario and Luigi franchise, like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I played it like 4 or 5 times when I was out on GBA. I played through was it Mario and Luigi Partners? It wasn't Partners in Time. I forget what it is. The one where the baby Mario and Luigi there. I didn't play Bowser's Inside Story. My brother played that one. So I own it. Haven't played it. And they announced a 4th one in this franchise, Mario and Luigi Brothership. And it looks, not gonna lie, it looks pretty bad. Like, it has a lot of the spirit of the other games, but graphically it looks really janky. And I can't put my finger on why. But they have the trailer, and it seems like it's a lot more 3D platforming than the previous ones were. So it's not like the other ones were always just like 2D sprite work, and now it's very much 3D environments. So it looks okay. Then they announced another Mario Party, which is kind of wild. So the last Mario Party that came out was kind of bashed because it was a shitty Mario Party game and more just a minigame collection. And this one seems like it's going to be like a full-on, this is a normal Mario Party release. Congratulations, we're finally putting one out on Switch. So that will exist for anyone who wants like a good Mario Party experience on Switch and just want to like whip out their GameCube at a New Year's party, like someone we know.
Like someone we know.
Like someone
Fucking
we know.
Losers.
Yeah, right. Moving along, I didn't put it on here, but they're re-releasing, I think it's the Wii U version of Donkey Kong Country Returns. They've been doing this for a while. They're trying to consolidate older games onto the Switch, and I have a theory of what's going on here. And the next title they announced kind of confirms it for me, that Luigi's Mansion 2, which was previously a 3DS exclusive, was getting like soft remade for Switch. So it doesn't look insanely better, but like now they've gotten rid of the two-screen setup and you can play it on a conventional console. And this is the part of the direct where it starts hitting me that like not all these games are releasing this year. Some of them are coming out next year. And this is very much signaling that Switch 2 is definitely going to be able to play all these games. And they're just trying to get everything on this Nintendo platform now. So everything from the previous gens don't need re-releases. They're just going to be available at launch for this new system is what I think is happening here. Moving along, the next one is interesting. So I thought this was going to be like a Nintendo Switch Online free title because it's every other game they've had, like Tetris 99, F-Zero 99, like the NES style remake games. They've just been kind of included free with NSO. But the next one they announced was called NES World Championship, which, from the best of my ability watching this trailer, it seems like this is licensed speedrunning content. Like the gameplay is you and 8 players are put in a room and it's like who can finish this section of a level faster. And there's other like leaderboards and other shit. Like it's very much just speedrunning classic NES games and seeing how fast are you at this, which is an interesting game model, but I don't know if I'd pay full price for something like this.
I sure as fuck would not.
Because it's just a lot of old NES games. The only competition part is that you don't have to go onto speedrunning.net to post your speedruns. The game handles it for you. So it's an interesting...
Until the speedrunning community disagrees with how they're tracking it and then does it anyway.
It's an interesting concept. Nintendo's like, so much of our retro game stuff is people doing the speedrunning shit. How do we get in on this? Because I don't think there's ever been... Has there ever been another game where the focus is just like, our whole game is, are you a speedrunner?
I mean, there's plenty of indie games like that, but...
Resident Evil.
But like the main selling point of Resident Evil is this is a speedrunning game where you're competing against other people?
Oh, not against other people, no.
Yeah. Wait, does Resident Evil like really care about your clear time?
It sure does. It doesn't have anything to do with the story, but like there's a bunch of different like things and awards and like in-game shit that you get when you complete times or when you complete par times.
Gosh, it's a game that does intentionally reward fast playthroughs.
Yeah, like the game you're supposed to like play them in like one sitting, like supposedly.
Damn, Nintendo losing a Capcom.
Or get down to it.
We'll talk about Capcom later because they're winning. But Square Enix comes out and they came out swinging here. So first, like I saw they announced Fantasian for Switch, and I'm sitting here like, why do I know this title? This sounds so familiar. And then it hit me. This was the last game that Final Fantasy director and composer Sakaguchi and Uematsu worked on together, and it was this iOS exclusive JRPG where you couldn't get it unless you were playing through like the Apple Arcade or whatever it was, and they were trying to really push gaming on iOS like 3 years ago, and it's been trapped there ever since. So this is the first time it's being released outside of iOS, so super cool. I definitely see Square Enix porting this elsewhere, especially after their big whole thing we talked about 2 episodes ago about needing to go multi-platform. This is very much them saying we need Nintendo money. So Fantasian will finally be available. I'm interested about this one because it was very much designed to be like a mobile login, do your daily kind of thing. And I don't know if they would port that as is to a console style release. So we'll see if they adjust it at all or if it's still as air quotes problematic as it was on iOS. And then Dragon Quest fans eating good here. So there have been rumors that Square just wants to go and take the HD 2D engine they've been using for Octopath Traveler and just go through and do all of their classic games. we saw a bit of that with Live Alive last year. But they confirmed Dragon Quest III HD remaster. I do not know if 3 is like the big one that everyone just loves, because I've not played any Dragon Quest games, but I'll ask my friend Mike because he's obsessed with these. But they announced 3 is coming out in November, and then at the end of the trailer, like, by the way, you can complete the whole trilogy, and they slam down they're doing 1+2 HD remake next year. So that's probably going to be a single game in 2025. But this is very much the signal that Square is all in on remaking with this engine, which has me questioning, when are we getting the Chrono Trigger remaster in the HD 2D engine?
We fucking better, bro.
Because that would be sick. Like, I'll talk about it later in the what we play section.
You
but
know.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, comment on them, like, yo, maybe they saw Sea of Stars and they're like, all right, we gotta get back on this shit, like,
Yeah, for real.
that's what I'm
Like,
hoping.
Like, my only complaint about Chrono Trigger is the way I played it on Steam, where you don't have the option for like a CRT overlay, so the pixels were all super blown up. So I wish I'd played it on like something with a CRT filter on it to like really experience the game correctly. But I would definitely replay this in an HD 2D engine. It'd be amazing. But that was it for Square Enix. They definitely want some Nintendo money. And then Capcom, they didn't announce any new games, but they announced some really good collections here. The first one was the Marvel Arcade Collection. And I think there's like 7 games in this, but none of them really fucking matter because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is in this collection. And this is like, I think it's the first time Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is being sold since it was removed from
Pretty
the
sure you're right.
360 PS3 online only versions that got delisted before those consoles died.
Yeah.
And all of these, I believe all of them support online play. So like, this is now the way to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2
That's crazy.
online competitively, is on Switch, which is bonkers. And then the next big one is they're releasing the Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. For some context on what this is, after Ace Attorney 1, 2, and 3 came out, they started moving to DS. They released Apollo Justice, which had his own trilogy release for like Steam, Switch, everything earlier this year. But then they came up with this side story where it's about Miles Edgeworth, the antagonist from the first game, with Detective Dick Gumshoe as his assistant. That's how these names will all mean something to you. But it was like a slightly different model of gameplay where there was a lot more, instead of being like just visual novel style while you're investigating, there was a lot more focus on going around crime scenes and navigating, talking to people, doing things. And the first game was great. I loved it. I beat it on DS. And the second game never got translated into English. So this collection is the first time the second game is available in English, like legally, which is super cool. My only concern when I saw the trailer was I'm like, okay, they did the same thing they did with the Ace Attorney collection, and they like cleaned up all the sprites and made them look a little too glossed over. I'm like, I kind of like the old nitty gritty look. And then they hit me at the end of the trailer with, by the way, you can toggle the old sprites if you'd like. So this is like a perfect re-release. Capcom headed out of the park here. But that was it for the Direct. It was a lot of stuff. I was not expecting this many like interesting titles to be included, but Nintendo still has shit for this year.
And you know what we made it through all the way without?
What?
Silk Song.
There's so many memes about how we weren't going to get an announcement for that.
Oof.
After all these announcements, everyone was like, guys, it has to happen, right? It has to. It's definitely.
I'll say, is that gonna be like the new, like, we got X thing before GTA 6, we got X thing before?
I mean,
Silk
Tyler,
Song?
I just opened Reddit and and there was a picture near like the top of Reddit right now, which is, it said no Silk Song announcement. It was a picture of a character, but they edited like a clown nose and hair onto it. And the top comment was, "We're gonna get Metroid Prime 4 before Silk Song." So yeah, it's definitely the new meme. Man, there was a lot of video games, but there was one really cool non-video game announcement that I wanted. So we've got a lot of good TV coming out right now. Val and I started Fallout. House of the Dragon Season 2 started 2 days ago. For those that really love it, Bridgerton happened recently. Damn.
God.
Evil Season 4 is back. I'll talk about that later.
Which one?
Evil. I talked about it like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'll bring it up again.
Yep, you did. But one of the shows that I've been waiting for a while, which is finally coming back, Arcane Season 2. Riot finally confirmed that it's coming back later this year, and I think it's November, right, Tyler?
Yeah.
How long ago was Season 1?
Huh?
How long ago was Season 1? Because this feels like an eternity.
We were still
9
living...
episodes.
No, how long ago?
This was November 2021.
It was 2021, so it'll have been 3 years.
Damn.
I mean, so the reason this is kind of a news story is because the trailer very deliberately says, and the show's co-creator even came out and said, this is going to be the end of the story in Piltover and Zaun. But League is already working on stories and other TV shows and movies. They're exploring other things already. Because I think frankly the success of Arcane shows that like this world has more than enough potential for good storytelling if you do a good job with it. Yeah,
I don't know if this is a hot take, but like if they told me they're just making another season and the plot line is disconnected, I frankly wouldn't care. I'm here for the production value of the show, not necessarily
I agree.
The ongoing plot.
I think it's more that Fortiche, I don't know if Fortiche wants to keep doing this, or if they might just be like, we need to put out more content than a Fortiche show every 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, Riot has money. It's not a question of money. It's a question of time and care, which is fine, but you need, like, 5 projects like this to be on the burner at the same time to keep the cadence of production coming out.
Yeah, they definitely got to go like the Call of Duty approach and be like, let's contract additional studios to do additional projects.
I mean, I definitely watch less League and barely play it much anymore compared to what I used to, but I still know who most of the characters are, and I'm still... I still get this is the show where I get to do the look at the thing they did like in the game, like the fight where Jace uses his hammer for the first time, Tyler. All of those moves are game moves.
No, I couldn't have guessed.
Oh my god. What a killer of joy.
Got him.
No, but this is just really hype. I mean, Tyler, you, me, Leslie all watched season 1. Freeman, did you? I keep forgetting.
I did, yeah. I was shortly behind you guys, but I did finish
right.
it like within 3 months.
Actually, while we were watching Bridgerton with Leslie last night to get her through that, I jokingly said, "Hey, let's rewatch Arcane." And Leslie was like, "Okay, let's go. Let's rewatch Arcane before season 2." Which I'd be down for, especially if it got Val to watch it. But there's going to be it seems like there's going to be a lot of crazy stuff. There were also a few characters noticeably missing from the trailer, which I am A-okay with, but it was interesting that they showed a lot, but also they definitely aren't showing everything, if that makes any sense.
I think I'm going to have to watch like the last 2 or 3 episodes because I'm drawing a blank on what was going on.
They killed pedophile man.
But like, what was the deal? Like, is the Undercity still rioting? Is that conflict still?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember the whole thing with the missile Friedman?
No, that's the problem. I don't remember. It's been 3 years.
The whole last episode, it's like one conversation that leads to firing the big rocket.
I just remember fight scene being cool.
I just remember fight scene be cool.
And music be bumping.
Yes.
I know Tyler didn't really like it.
Yeah, so I got to rewatch a little bit of it.
Tyler was like,
I can't remember.
Yeah, and that's the problem. That's why I remember you were like, the music's kind of whatever, but...
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Everything else is fucking banger though, probably.
I'll never forget Arcane giving us the... Because what was it? It was Imagine Dragons did the opening, but then it became like a top 40 hit, and I was just like, what is this anime opening doing on the radio? Is this what it's like living in Japan?
Anime opening.
But speaking of anime openings, it's time for the Weeb shit. So, Tim, you want to talk about the first story?
Oh boy, just big shock.
You got the first 2.
Big shock. Infinity money glitch. Cozy Family show Spy Family is confirmed for season 3.
Impossible.
We still can't watch the fucking Christmas movie that came out 6 months ago in Japan. Although I think it came out in America, but now it's not streaming anywhere. We missed it.
We missed the theatrical appearance.
Oh, speaking of missing theatrical, Freeman, when me and my dad went to go see Furiosa, which I forgot to put on the watched and played list. Oopsies.
Glad you reminded yourself.
when we went to go see it, there was a trailer for that Lord of the Rings extended weekends in theaters thing that you and Val were supposed to do, and you guys
Wasn't it? It was last weekend, right?
It was the one before and last weekend were Fellowship. This coming weekend is Two Towers, and then Return of the King, and then they each get 2 weekends, and then Return of the King is going to be next. But you guys have already missed Fellowship.
Oh, I thought it was 2 weekend-long events where Friday night was movie 1, Saturday night was movie 2, and Sunday was movie 3.
I think it was June 8th and 15th were Fellowship. 22 and 29 is going to be Two Towers, and then July 6th and 13th is going to be Return of the King.
All right. Well, it's really not going to be that hard for me to convince Val to watch the extended version of Fellowship before going to the theater.
Sure,
for the
you
next
guys
do
just
it
got to
with
find
me.
fucking time to do it. I'm down to watch Henry so you guys can do it, but you guys should go do it. I'm not going to lie. If we had a way to get someone to watch him for long enough, I would kind of be okay with at least watching Return of the King in theater again. Like, okay, real quick tangent. Friedman, you're going to remember this. Tyler's not. Do you remember the 10-plex on Route 4 that is where that gym
The Miller's Ale House
and
is
the
now?
Miller's Ale House is?
Yeah.
So my crazy throwback, my dad worked at that theater as a teenager.
No
and
way.
That is the theater where I saw all 3 Lord of the Rings movies with my dad and my brother. Doesn't even exist anymore, but it's crazy to think that I saw those movies with them in that theater that does not exist.
Yeah, I vividly remember my dad taking me to see Spider-Man because he was so excited for that to come out.
We also saw the prequel trilogy in that theater. That's how long ago the prequel trilogy was that theater still
Good
existed.
Lord. Yeah.
God, that theater was not in good shape when we went there. Anyway, big tangent for movies, but Spy Family getting a season 3. Season 2, I mean, we talked about it when it ended. Season 2 was fine. It kind of got good near the end when they had an actual arc that was happening.
Yeah.
More of actual structured story, please. I think I saw online that, like, based on the manga, this is going to cover some of Lloyd's backstory since we got a bunch of your stuff in that arc in season 2. This is going to be some of Lloyd's backstory. If we can have a plot, Spy Family is a great time. If it's just let's fuck around and do nothing every episode, it holds way less interest for me.
Yeah, like the Anya meme face can't carry us through a whole 3rd season.
It's just having a mission where they actually do things is when the funny stuff happens. Like, remember you're fighting that guy in the middle of the crew and Anya makes it into like a circus event?
Yes.
But like then you cut to the top of the ship and Anya fights and Yor fights like 50 assassins and it's great. Like that was great.
When the cast is playing off each other, it works well, but when they're all in isolation, it's not amazing.
Well, or if they're like, oh no, here's this crazy set of coincidences that led to a minor mix-up. Oh well, go home. Like it doesn't do much.
Yeah.
But the other,
oh good Lord,
the other confirmation. The only harem show I've ever enjoyed this much. Val couldn't have rolled her eyes more if they'd fallen out of her head, but 100 Girlfriends season 2 coming in winter season in January. I can't believe this got announced 6 months out, Freeman. This show costs $5 and they still announced it 6 months early.
So I only have one question. How many new girlfriends in season 2? That's the question. There's only 3.
No, I don't know.
Right,
I'm guessing 3.
So back in the day, there was an anime called The World God Only Knows. The short version of this is, dude is like regarded as the god of dating sims online. He's just great at beating them. So an actual goddess goes out and she's like, hey, like there's this weird thing going on with these girls' souls and I need someone to romance them to free their souls so I can purify them or some shit. I need you to romance these girls. So the whole gimmick was he'd meet a girl, he'd romance her, and then he'd move on. But then like they would sometimes remember and sometimes wouldn't remember the romancing. But it was basically each girl had a 4-episode arc. And I'm wondering if 100 Girlfriends is going to use that kind of cadence.
I don't know. I don't know the manga or anything like that, so I genuinely don't know how many we're gonna get. But honestly, I just enjoyed this show a lot. This show was a ton of fun. I don't care if it's stupid. It got a little dumb near the end, but like it was a really fun time.
I'm wondering, it might be kind of dated, but I'm wondering if The World God Only Knows would actually be interesting to you. Because I loved it when it came out.
I have too many right now. We're not going to talk about it this week, but like if you think about it, Friedman, next podcast we're gonna have a whole bunch of anime to talk about because the
I
season's gonna be
know.
over.
I
Well,
saw
I
Crunchyroll
will.
announce
You
their
won't.
entire lineup.
You won't have a lot because you haven't finished all that much. But I'm gonna have a lot of shows that I'm gonna have finished by 2 weeks.
Outside of the shows that I'm watching, like you, Val, and my other friends, I'm only watching like 5 shows on my own, so I won't have an insane number.
I mean, I'm not watching this. I mean, I have 11 shows on Mal right now, so. And we're behind on a couple. We're behind on
we're
like
behind on
camping,
a lot.
which is
We gotta
crazy.
catch up.
I would have never said we were going to be behind on camping, but like,
It's not our fault on this one.
there's better shows that we're all watching together. Which is sad to think. And then speaking of anime movies, June is already almost fucking over, but Blue Lock episode Nagi before we get season 2. I'm not sure if we're gonna go. I kind of want to see this in theaters because Blue Lock's hype as hell. But also,
I would like to.
Okay, then maybe we'll figure it out. But,
If you can figure out what's going on with Henry, then
yeah,
I'm definitely down to go.
yeah. No, Blue Lock is pretty sick. So I'd be down to see some sick, aggressive soccer action in theater. But there you go, Freeman. Now you can pick up.
All right, cool. So moving on. So me and Val got a fun announcement. Delicious in Dungeon Season 2 confirmed immediately after Season 1 finished. We're like 3 episodes behind, so we haven't seen the finale. But this is famously like the first time Trigger has done a sequel outside of like the SSS Gridman franchise, which I don't know if those are really sequels, but very cool. Based on the amount of chapters per episode they adapt, it means that Season 2 has the potential to just be the adaptation of the rest of the manga because it's already over. So it'd be really cool if we got a full adaptation here because the quality on Delicious in Dungeon has been very good. I know, Tim, you dropped it right when the plot started to shift a lot and Trigger had more opportunities to really flex what they're doing. So it was very good seeing that they kept it consistent throughout. So I was very happy with like the production of the show overall. I'm not trying to convince you to continue watching if you didn't like it. You didn't like it. But I'm still super excited for the second half.
You and Val were pretty hyped when Season 2 got confirmed.
Yeah. And then out of fucking nowhere, Guilty Gear Strive announces they're making an anime. Which is weird, because this is the most anime franchise to never actually have any anime. Like, BlazBlue had an anime before they did this. But this one's... I have no idea what the deal with this, because they specifically said it's for Guilty Gear Strive. It's not Guilty Gear the franchise, and Strive is much later on in the story. Like, I tried my hardest while playing Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus to try to figure out what was going on in the story mode, but I wasn't good enough to beat most of the story mode. But that universe is so wild that I don't know how they're going to try to adapt just Strive into an anime. If it's going to be good at all, I don't know. I'm tempted to try it out just because Soul Bad Guy is such a cool character. We'll see. It should be interesting. And then on to the main event. Wrong song. Hold on. Sorry. It's Olympics season, so we got to play this. Well, actually, the Waifu Wars will be done before the Olympics are over. The point is, Reddit's Waifu Wars have returned. We're at the end of the elimination bracket, so tomorrow is the first day of one-on-one waifu voting. So we still don't know who the front runners are. We don't know who the leaders going to be this year. But I will tell you, Hollow is getting that current seasonal boost, so we'll see if Luigi finally succeeds in propelling his waifu to stardom.
If it's not this year, it's never going to happen.
Dude, it's all 4 Konosuba girls are still up for debate here. They have the seasonal boost too, but it might be too much. I know Marion from Dress Up Darling is in it this year. I forget who else from last year is now eligible who's like mega waifu status. Everyone from Oshinoko is eligible. I don't know. It's anyone's game here. But that's it for the Weeb shit.
Wow, that was pretty quick. I look forward to our football intro for the wars.
I clicked on all the wrong ones. I have the MLB theme, which I accidentally played. I have the NFL intro for next week because we'll probably be like halfway through the brackets, and then we'll have the winner in a month. All
right, Tyler, I'm sure this is you. So we're
done with Resident Evil the Bunker.
Yeah, we'll talk about what we watched and played for the week.
Yeah, so I forgot to put this on last week or last time we talked, but I beat Amnesia the Bunker. I put it down as Resident Evil the Bunker because the game literally is Resident Evil. Comes with a safe room and box, except it's more terrifying because the box has a limited number of inventory spots, whereas the teleporty box from Resident Evil has an unlimited amount of space.
Mm-hmm.
or probably like 255 spaces or some shit like that. But like, yeah, this game is great. Every Amnesia game moving forward should be something like this. And listen to what I'm saying. It shouldn't be exactly like this. Something like this. Like this is the first survival horror game, or sorry, first survival horror. Yeah, so first survival horror that like this studio has done. A lot of their games, or all of their games, really, like from Penumbra to Amnesia, to Soma. It's mostly just been like run here, hide from this monster, run here, hide from this monster.
Uh-huh.
Very similar, but now you have ways to defend yourself. You can't kill the monster, but you can at least deter it from getting to you, as well as like some other things. It's a very short game, but I really enjoyed it. It's definitely up there for like, like if you're into horror games, like this is a must play. Especially if you like Resident Evil. Like if you like Resident Evil, listeners out there, like just play this. It took me less than like 6 hours to beat. Like,
Oh, that's really short.
yeah, and that's me kind of being like super, like careful and everything. And also I recently beat. I think I don't know if I probably mentioned it. I mentioned I played it, but I played and beat Sleeping Dogs.
Woo.
Because it's been on my yeah, right. The ending was, I was telling Tim because Tim beat it. Where you have a let's play right of that too, I think, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Yeah, I like thought about like watching it instead of playing this, and I was like, nah, I'll play it. I was like, I really like cop shit, and it's more that I love cop shit. I like crooked cop shit. But yeah, I think overall was good. I think it had some like dated shit to it, but it was like really cool. And I played the
Wait, how old is this
was
game?
it the
Oh
10
God.
years?
It's like 2013-ish.
10-year-old?
Oh God.
Oh no, I think it's like 12 actually. Yeah. Oh no, it came out in 2011, so yeah, like 13.
Oh dang.
Isn't it great?
I don't know.
Doesn't that make you feel youthful?
Remember how
From what
long
I
they were talking
watched,
about
what
this
you were
having a
playing,
sequel and stuff?
from what I saw in the
Wait, what?
gameplay, it looks like it holds up.
Uh,
It does a fair bit.
sorta.
It's
You think it
got
didn't look that good? Keep in mind, I was watching a compressed Discord stream version of it.
The theme, yeah, true. So the themes, some of the story beats are like fine, right? Like I feel like those hold up. The
the end of the
combat is
story is
like,
a little weird.
the end is understandable. Like the ending sucked, but I understand why it had to be like that, and it is a good excuse. So I'm not really gonna duck too many points out off of that. The driving fucking is terrible. The shooting, I don't even want to talk about the shooting. Like they give out way too many shooting bits because like I feel like there was some weird shit where it's like, oh well, we gotta give them guns, right? And I feel like the whole game was supposed to be this like kung fu action kind of thing, right? Which was, I thought it was nailing that theme super well. And even they had the backdrop they from the beginning, and like Tim and I even joked about it, where it's like from the beginning they're like, yo, you'll never find many guns in Hong Kong, they're very rare here. Halfway, not even halfway through, about quarter of the way through the main story, they're like, here's a bunch of guns, start shooting people.
Yeah.
Like it's just not like it's super weird. I felt like it almost kind of had like a weird identity crisis in that sense.
I think the best way to put it is it's one of those open world games from like those early 2010s where they had a lot of the same ideas as a lot of other people, but there were good ideas, but a lot of them were kind of half baked. Like the combat's fun, like throwing people around is cool to like slam. Like Tyler, remember that guy you kept throwing in the fire when we were watching you? Like that was hilarious, but then you just get the guns. It's just more take cover, kind of whatever gunplay. A lot of the upgrades are kind of meh. Like the mini games kind of wear out their welcome, like every open world game does. Like, oh my god, Tyler, some of those did you do all the cameras? where you go to the camera spot.
I did
So-
until I maxed out my police level, and then I didn't do them anymore.
Did you do some of the ones where it's like get on a boat, go to a hidden tunnel, kill all the guys in there, hack
Oh
the
my
thing, and
God.
then go back? It's like
Yeah.
this, and then you call in the thing, and it's like the cops just spawn out of thin air, and it's like this
Yep.
is this.
Well, it's
I
actually-
know where this was. This is just stupid.
Well, you know how I did those though too. I feel like I was smart about them. I would do them, and I would leave them until I rebooted the game in my next session, and then I would put on the CIS uniform or whatever, and then because it would give you double the experience for
Oh.
the cop, and then I would go to the TV,
And just finish
do
it?
it real quick because it takes less than
Yeah.
like 5 minutes to do,
Yeah,
and then I would just put the CIS uniform back.
that's
on
amazing.
the hook.
No, but
Yeah, that shit
it's-
was broken.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's got a lot of cool ideas, and like you said, a lot of the early story is cool, but like so many of these open world games, the story gets so convoluted, so many characters, it just doesn't hold together.
Yeah, you could tell it had an idea, it had a direction, and then they had to cut back on it.
It's
I'll
like-
say this: it makes me want to go play True Crime Streets of New York. Like, I never
Oh.
actually beat it all the way,
Nice.
but it's like one of those games, dude. That like talk about a game that's like those were a part of the generation of PS2 games where like that shit was just hard because of how jank the game was. And I own it for PS2, but it lags way too much. Like I'm thinking of like acquiring it somehow and then emulating it so I can play it on better hardware. But yeah, oh yeah, fun fact for those of you who have never played Sleeping Dogs but are familiar with that game and also the True Crime series, this was supposed to be a direct sequel to the True Crime series,
Right.
the third in the installment. I consider it is. In my opinion, it totally
Yeah.
is. Like it literally has all the mechanics from a true crime game, down to the kind of like, because in every true crime game you play as a crooked cop, right? Or you could be a crooked cop, but you might not be. But in this game, Wei Shen is 100% a crooked. Like, he is a bad guy. Like, he is not a good person at all. And like, I would even argue that like this is one of the few video game main characters I play as where I was like, big yikes, like this guy is like bad. Like, he cheats on his girlfriends. Though I love how they kind of throw that back in his face where they're like, oh, you can sleep with anybody you want, but like I'm not allowed to do the same. Like, only triad guys are allowed to sleep around, right? I'm like, ooh, damn. God damn. Yeah, question. Like, if I didn't do the other girlfriend quests, would I have had like one girlfriend?
I genuinely
Tim,
don't
like,
remember.
do you know? Yeah, I figured it was a small like part of the game, but yeah, I don't know. I am upset that I feel like the game didn't meet its full potential. I think it really did. But I won't go into any more of that. Instead, I'll talk about fucking garbage. Fucking dude. So hey Tim, are you caught up on Bridgerton?
No, but go ahead. We watched up through episode 5.
Talk about, dude. This show is garbage. Like, this is the worst piece of shit
Oh,
I have watched in a
man.
while.
All
And
right, I'm gonna
like,
need you to explain to me what's the most absurd shit that's been happening this season. Like, explain
the
the trash to
fucking
me.
oh, what's the most absurd shit? I was gonna
Like
say
the dumbest scene
you
you've
actually
seen so far.
saw it. The scene still like definitively was the hot air balloon scene.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god!
God, that
I'm
was
glad nothing
so
topped that. 'Cause
funny.
that scene was stupid.
I was
Yeah,
laughing my
nothing-
ass off. That was so funny.
There's been some dumb scenes. Like, there's a scene I think in episode, like in the second arc or second core, whatever you want to call it, where one of the poor like people that became affluential because of their son, they threw a party at their house, like one of like the many balls, and they had this big ass thing in the center of the dance floor, and I'm like, how do you dance around this? How are you supposed to see other people? Like, they just do a lot of weird shit. That I thought was just not. It just wasn't it. People's motivations weren't good. Though you know what, Tim? I'll say this: Cressida, best character.
Really?
Oh yeah.
See, I'm too.
And I think what happens to her is tragic.
Tyler, I only saw
Legitimately.
episode 5
That's fine.
where she
What
went.
was
Where
it like?
she stood up and she's like, "Hey, I'm the thing. I'm the person."
Yeah, and but like why she's doing all this because she's trying
Oh
to get
yeah.
out of her
See, but
thing.
it's I don't. Here's the thing. This is one of those kids. So also, this is only season 3, not season 4.
Yes.
You put this down as season 4, but
Oh, whoops.
to me,
Season
Cressida has
3.
been such just a like the nameless bitch character in the show.
Yeah, she's
for so
Regina
long
George.
that I just don't feel like I get like it's so like heavy-handed how bad things are for her. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, actually,
Yeah.
she had the worst of all of them. That's why she was a heartless bitch, because she had to get ahead, or she would be sold off to an ancient man who's gross. And it's like,
I mean, it's a little more than that, but
is it though? Her dad's
Yeah,
like
kind
terrible,
of.
and her mom is like indifferent. But like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think, but like, it is
I
pretty
didn't.
shitty. You think about it, everybody's got such a great fucking time.
I
Like,
all I know is
see,
it
out
was
of
a
all
little
the
frustrating.
characters, what?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
All I know is
like,
I didn't care about her all that much.
yeah. Well, let me ask you then, Tim, who do you care about then, if you like this show so much?
I don't
I had to find
like it
something in
so
this
much.
shit
I
pile.
I think it's fine. It's a fun, like, just kind of trashy watch.
Honestly, I really didn't find anything redeeming about this show. Like, Cressida was
everyone's wearing a
fine.
lot of cool outfits. It's fun to see them look at like cool outfits. Everyone being cool outfits. Like it's kind of funny to watch the dumb drama stuff, but like it's the same reason I watch like Jersey Shore. It's not high art.
It's just the dumb drama is entertaining.
Yeah. It's a fun watch.
It's not even.
Everybody
It's not
Val's
even.
into it. Her sisters are
It's
into
not
it.
even captivating drama though. Like none of it.
It was so
like
funny. Tyler,
Freeman,
Leslie was popping off at this. It was
hold
so
on,
funny.
hold on,
No.
hold on. The hot air balloon is like, if you watch that scene, it literally encapsulates the entire drama of the entire show, of how like dumb and inconsequential everything is. Especially like when you take a step back and you look at the world for what it is, you realize there's no serious consequences really for anybody. Except maybe Cressida. I'll admit this. Like, she gets fucked, I guess. But like, honestly, at the end of the day, like, it doesn't really matter. Because like, I was talking about how Penelope. I'm like, oh, Penelope's gonna get got. I'm like, oh yeah, she'd probably get beheaded because this is like England, right? I'm like, oh, that's right. We are looking at a story where everybody has a fucking happy ending. Like, who cares? No one actually gets killed here. They might get sent away, but they won't get killed. Oh, woe is me. Please. Like, I don't know. It's just stupid. I'm like I really don't. I'm really surprised that something like this kind of got picked up. Like, it's just like if a trashy romance novel got picked up. And I don't even think it's that. And I was even telling Michelle, I was like, yo, the sex scenes aren't even that hot, bro. The hottest thing was when what's his face? I forgot. Like when Penelope and what's his face were in the carriage and he was getting like finger banging her. I'm like, okay, this can be kind of steamy, but like everything else, I'm just like, what is this? Then we get a random threesome and it keeps cutting back, and I'm like, why? Like, why are we seeing this?
Oh hell yeah, sounds spicy.
Yeah, you haven't run into that yet, but yeah,
Nope.
but literally they added in there because no, I said you haven't. Yeah. You will though.
With you. I said nope.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's the point of this? What kind of character progression is this gonna add?
Probably
It adds
not much.
nothing. Like, there's nothing like I find like even interesting. Like, even if I was like looking at this from a trash standpoint, I'm like, what's the point? It's also
It's Tyler. I'm
surface
telling
level.
you, the outfits and the pretty people is what keeps everybody in. I'm
I'm
telling
I'm
you.
wondering if it's just it hit the singularity of it's only popular because it's popular. Like I think back a lot on Squid Game, and like if Squid Game didn't blow up and it wasn't the thing everyone was talking about, I probably wouldn't have watched it based on the show description.
I didn't watch
Um,
it.
and I'm wondering how much of Bridgerton was that.
I don't know. Like I said, I think a lot of it is just people
Mm.
were like, "Wow, these are some pretty people, and these outfits are really cool." Like I genuinely think that's where a
Difference
lot of
for
it comes
me,
from.
man. That's shitty. Because I'll say this, like, yes, do I think that Squid Game was overhyped a bit? Yes. But do I think it was a good show? Oh yeah. Like I think the
Oh no, I'm not saying it was a
performances
bad show. I'm just saying I
were
wouldn't have
good.
jumped into it without the popularity spike. But
Probably. I mean, I definitely wouldn't be watching Bridgerton. I like if I were to rate this on Letterboxd, I'd probably give it at least a 1.
Wow.
at
The only
least or
points
at
I would give
most.
it for, at most,
Okay.
at most, you know, like so here's my 2 points for it, right? If I were to pick out anything good, the music is good, but they're all like, you know, orchestra versions of pop songs. It's like
Norman
we all
music, yeah.
love that, but like shit, we've seen that so many times before. And I'll say like the ball scenes are good. If someone were to like ballroom scenes as much as they do like action scenes, then like yeah, sure, I could totally see why someone would like this. Like I don't know, I was finding every reason to like try to like at least pull some sort of like enjoyment out of this, but I just could not.
From what I
But
briefly
I
watched,
suffered.
I think how do I put this? You have to just deny the shittiness and just point and laugh at whatever you can find entertaining about it.
That's it.
I think that's just the way to go.
But like there are people who seriously like it though.
Yep.
They're like, "Oh, I love the drama." I'm like, this isn't even real
Oh,
drama.
there's so many better dramas than this.
Yeah, like come on, bro. Like, yo, like the war criminal fucking turning into her sister to dude, that's drama.
That was peak drama. We'll never
That's
top it.
that's actual drama. That literally floored the shit out of me, and it's a fucking cartoon.
Listeners
Please.
out of the loop, we're talking about the masterpiece that is quintessential quintuplets.
Yeah, you should watch that shit. Watch it. You can say I'm biased, but it's true though.
Better than Bridgerton.
Like you can literally find better drama anywhere else. Um But all right, I'll move on from
Yeah.
your favorite show, Tim. I apologize for roasting it so
I
much.
never said I. Okay.
Okay. This is funny. I'm sorry, dude. Are you gonna be okay?
What about your books?
It's
What
not
about
going
my
to be okay.
books?
You put
Not
them
gonna
on
be
here.
okay.
Tell us
No,
about your
I
book.
know. I'm busting your chops. Yeah, tell us about our book. Yeah, so I finished 2 books. One on audio, um, one actual book. Um, I I'll start with the one I wasn't a fan of, and I gotta tell Val soon. But I don't know how to bring it to her. I wasn't a big fan of Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher, aka Ursula Vernon. Yeah, that is her real name, Ursula
Wait,
Vernon.
Ursula Vernon is the real name?
Yes,
And she chose to go
T.
by T.
Kingfisher is the
Kingfisher?
moniker
Huh.
Oh my
for her
goodness.
more adult books. So she writes kids books,
Oh, with her
but when she
real name?
writes, yeah, with her real name, she'll talk like do that stuff. But when she writes more like adult fiction or like fantasy, she uses this
How adult was
pen
Paladin's
name.
Grace?
Like not so much. I think. I mean, like they don't get like too. I mean,
Because I know what kind of
it's
books
not
Val reads.
graphic. It's not like it's Val. You know, Val described this book very accurately. Like it gets spicy, but like that's really it. It's like nothing outside of like what you would see in like an R-rated movie, I guess.
Gotcha.
Like it's not like super crazy. Um, but yeah, I was drawn in by the concept, and I feel like I didn't get that, and I feel like I was left wanting, but not in a good way. Which is actually the very opposite of how I felt of this next book I'm going to talk about. But yeah, like it went from and the premise is, I think Tim has heard this probably a bajillion times from Val, but I don't think you have, Freeman. It's about this paladin, uh, who's a part of this order whose god dies, supposedly dies, and so now he is wayward, trying to figure out his life with the rest of his brothers. And one day he meets this girl, and yeah, it turns into like a romance to a whodunit kind of thing to a mystery courtroom drama. Like it literally turns out, like, Freeman, there is a section in the book where it's literally Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, where they're like, oh, typically these trials go for longer, but for this one's gonna be 3 days. I shit you not.
They set the
And
arbitrary
I'm like,
rule.
and I'm like, what?
The dark age of the law
I'm like,
is upon us.
is this an Ace Attorney reference? And then the way they wrap things up at the end was just kind of like sudden, where it's like, oh, we're gonna resolve within the next 30 pages. We're gonna resolve this, and
Oh,
this.
jeez.
Oh, they just speed run.
Oh yeah.
Tying up loose ends.
And what's worse is they are self-aware almost about what is happening. Like there's a line that even says, "Oh, who's gonna show up next? Like, is that gonna be the prince?" And sure enough, it was the fucking prince. And he says, "Hey guys, I'm not alive, or I'm not dead. Haha." And of course the main character and the love interest get together. The bad guy's been put in jail, blah blah. There's some mystery, at the end of the book, to set up for a sequel, right? All that fun stuff. But I was like, I didn't get like anything from this book, and I was like kind of annoyed. But and it took me a while to get through this. It was an easy read, but like I still couldn't get through it. It was hard. But I was like, you know what? I'll do it for Val, because Val recommended me Uprooted, and I really love that book. And I was like, yo, the premise of this book is gonna be dope. And it just wasn't it. I won't talk about this as much, but I read this other book, Promise of Blood by Brian McKellen. It is the first book in the Black Powder Mage trilogy. And I was reading this book, and I'm like, yo, this is like a same magic system as fucking Mistborn. And I'm like, people have to be comparing this guy, because I got recommended this by like a lot of different, not people I knew, but like places online, like, yo, if you like fantasy, you should read some of this. And I was like, yo, this guy reads like Mistborn. Why is that? Turned out this guy, before Brandon Sanderson got like super, super big, he took Brandon Sanderson's writing course at BYU. And I was like, huh, that's pretty interesting. But like, it's really funny though, because the system is literally like Mistborn. Like Mistborn and this share a like, people have to ingest some sort of thing, and then their magic powers get what's it called, like activated through that. Except in this book, there are consequences for taking too much. Like you can become addicted, and your body has to depend on it if you take too much of it.
So it's just like
in this book,
cocaine.
pretty much in this book, it's black powder, right? Saltpeter. So like they're basically just snorting gunpowder the entire fucking book. Like, and they have like certain properties, mostly ignition. Don't know how exactly the ignition powers work, but they're leaning into like telling us in the later book. So I'm actually pretty interested. I think the characters are really not very good. They have no depth to them, but man, the action scenes are fucking dope. Tim, I was actually gonna recommend this to you if I got to the end, and I liked it. I was gonna recommend this to you because at least over. Well, I wanted to recommend a bunch of stuff to you, but you never read any of them. But you might like this one.
Okay.
Dude, I think you would like Wax and Wayne though, seriously.
I believe you.
Like you'd have to get a lowdown of like what happened in Mistborn, but I think
Mhm.
you would like Wax and Wayne. But you'd probably like this. Like the action scenes in this are fucking dope.
Damn.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like this. Um, yeah. So yeah, I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna read the short story in between next, and then I'll get the next one.
Cool.
But Freeman, I'm finally curious to hear your thoughts about this long-awaited review because man, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to finish Final Fantasy
So
VII.
I don't know if I'm going to give like the full review here. We've already outlined most of our thoughts here, so I kind of just want to talk about the ending. Are you going to beat it? Are you concerned about me talking about the ending here?
I'm gonna beat it, but don't I like spoiler away, please. I don't
All right.
care. It's
So
fine.
my brother asked me like a month ago. He's like, "Hey, did you beat Rebirth yet?" I'm like, "No." Why? He's like, "Does Aerith die?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure she's going to." Why? He's like, "All right, let me know." So when he sent me that, I'm like, "All right, what fuckery did they put in this game?" Because they've already been playing the idea about you can or can't change fate. All of the ending of Remake with the ghost shit was about how like, fate might be able to be fought. Things might be different. And then we get to the end scene on Rebirth. You see Aerith sitting there praying, not at the Temple of the Ancients, but at wherever it is. And Cloud walks up, and you're like, "This is it. This is the part where Sephiroth descends from the sky." And then there's this whole bit with the fucking ghost show up again, and like in the original, like Cloud is being possessed by Sephiroth, and he takes the sword and he holds it over his head, and he almost kills Aerith. In this one, they had the ghosts do it. They're
Yeah.
forcing his hands up, so it's this weird, vague thing of: is he under Sephiroth's control? Is this fate thing making it happen? So then Sephiroth comes down for the slash, and I'm like, this is it. We're gonna get the Impaler in HD. Finally, we've been waiting for the scene. And what happens? Cloud goes like, no, I'm gonna defy fate, and he leaps at Sephiroth and deflects the blade. And I'm like, you fucking kidding me? They didn't kill her. And then Cloud has this like weird brain fuzz shit, and it like cuts back and forth between what he thought happened and what happened. And he looks back, and despite having deflected and knocked Sephiroth away, Aerith is still stabbed. So she still dies, but we don't get to see the
Yeah.
actual stab. So we got robbed of the scene. Then her, like, the white material falls off her hair, it hits the ground, and the song starts to play just as it did in the original. I'm like, all right, at least they're trying to hit the cinematic moments here. And then, just like the last one, they had that scene where, like, you can't believe Aerith is dead. So it jumps into the Genova fight. Except Cloud is looking down at Aerith's corpse, and she opens her eyes and looks up at him. And then, bam, the
What?
Genova fight happens, and her corpse disappears for this. So it's just the whole party comes in, they see Aerith's dead. You start the Genova fight, and they did something I really, really didn't like here. So in the original, Aerith's theme plays continuously throughout this sequence into the battle, and then afterwards while you're mourning her death. And it's just one, even during the entire Genova fight, it's not a crazy fight. It's more of you, like, accepting, like, what just happened. But with Rebirth, because everything's a goddamn spectacle, the Genova fight starts, and it's so goddamn loud. You can't hear Aerith's theme. There's so much sound effects. Everyone is talking over everything with their battle shit. And then immediately it switches into this like 7-phase combat section, where first you're playing as your full team, then you 1v1 Sephiroth as Cloud for a little bit, and then you 2v1 Sephiroth as Cloud and Zack, because there's this multi-world bullshit. Then you and Zack each 1v1 Sephiroth. Then the party starts breaking up into smaller groups to refight Bizarro Sephiroth. And I use the phrase Bizarro Sephiroth because that's the name of one of the like pre-final boss fight Sephiroths you fight in the original. And they made this goddamn spectacle out of it. I hated that every game is like, all right, every game ends with this giant Sephiroth fight. That's just the way it is. And then the very last bit where you fight, you're going to 1v1 Sephiroth again with Cloud, except this time Aerith shows up, even though she's dead. And then once it's all done, you've beaten Sephiroth, and he just kind of flies away, defeated, smirking. Then it cuts back to reality where Aerith is actually dead. Cloud is just being delusional, and I don't think he's accepted the death, but he's still like talking to Aerith's spirit. So there's this really vague sense of, is she or isn't she dead, and we don't know going into the third game. And they're still really playing with the idea that there are multiple world lines, and I caught that there's two. There's one where Zack's alive, and then there's the real one. But everyone's spouting theories about how there's actually 7 parallel worlds presented in this game, and the only way you can tell is there's these stamps that show up all over Midgar, and depending on which cutscene you're in, the stamp that shows up on different posters and shit is different. And I'm like, this has Nomura written all over it. I can't I just can't deal with this. This is ridiculous. So I really was upset with the ending. Gameplay wise, the boss fight was pretty cool. I still think they really they don't understand that the 7 battle engine is not meant for 1v1 fights. Every time Cloud has to 1v1 a boss, it's the most miserable fighting experience ever. Your ATB does not move enough.
It sure fucking is.
Like it's
Sure
it's
is.
like I was so happy. I was happy that Aerith came back for one more fight because she's busted in this game. But I was just happy they gave me someone else to fight with because fighting Sephiroth one-on-one was so boring. It turned the game into, you have no ATB charge, you better learn how to perfect dodge because the rest of the game just doesn't give a shit about dodging.
You know what I did, Freeman? I
What?
gotta admit, I knocked the game down to easy. I'm trying to bang this fucking game out now.
Anytime I hit a boss fight where I was just getting frustrated, I did it too. Not gonna lie. And I don't blame you for it. There are just some fights that are just infuriating. And at the ripe old age of nearly 33, I don't have time for this shit anymore.
Hey.
I just want to
I just don't have time.
story.
Nah, I just don't have time for this game anymore. This game does not respect my time as a fucking player, and it really pisses me off. I'm at Golden Saucer, and I'm like,
Wait, for the first time or the
Michelle
second time?
and I, the first time, and I'm just like, yo, am I watching a fucking Hideo Kojima game where there's like 2 hours of cutscene?
Yes.
Holy shit!
Ew.
There's so much story cutscenes at the Gold Saucer.
I honestly can't stand this game. It's pissed me off.
I think I closed out at 120 hours. My original plan was I wasn't going to go back and play any of the mini games. I wanted to go back and do the last Queen's Blood game, and then there's a couple extra like Chadley VR fights unlocked, and there's like one section of the Gold Saucer that has combat fights that I actually enjoyed because they were somewhat challenging. But like, to be honest, I'm going to put this down for a bit. I need a break from this game. It was 120 hours, and I'm just kind of molding over the ending. So I think I'm good for now.
Well, the good news is you're going to wait about 4 years for the final part to come out, so you'll
I got some time to cool down before I forget how upset I was and be like, oh man, I can't wait to play another Final Fantasy VII game.
Pretty much exactly what's going to happen, I'm sure.
We saw this happen with Pokemon. It's going to happen again with the 7 remake series.
But Freeman, you're finally free.
I am free, which means it was time for me to pick what the next game I was going to play is. The problem is I have a couple games clogging up my queue that I wanted to clear out. Probably the biggest one was that before I went on vacation last summer, I had gotten pretty far into Chrono Trigger. And I'm so close to the end that I was like, let me just clear this out. So I picked up Chrono Trigger again. And Tyler, I need to tell you a short story about me picking up Chrono Trigger again. So everyone, spoilers for Chrono Trigger. So I picked up where you go all the way back.
Game, who cares?
Where you go all the way back to the Dark Ages, but you have like the futuristic magic society. And I got to the end of that bit where the Ocean Temple rises and Lavos awakens, and they reveal that Magus was the prophet, but he was also Janus, and then not Cloud. Chrono gets just vaporized. So I'm at that part. So I don't have too much left. I have like one dungeon, a bunch of optional final side quests for everyone, and then the final dungeon, and then I'm done with this game. So I'm probably I will have it beat before the next episode we record. But I just couldn't get over. Like, Magus joins your party, and you're like, we need to find a way to revive Chrono. And so you go to the future, and they're like, well, you can revive him, but you need to get this clone from this dude. Go back to the present. I go to the present, I'm like, okay, so he's at the carnival. I go talk to this guy, and he's like, all right, man, you just need to play this one tiny little challenge, but in order to do the challenge, you need 40 silver points. And do you know how you get silver points in Chrono Trigger?
I can't remember, honestly.
It's by playing a bunch of minigames.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Until I remember the one of the games is just beat up an enemy, and it's scaled for you at the beginning of the game, so you one-shot him. So I just had to one-shot him 3 times to get back on the story. But for a minute, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I have to go figure out what minigames to beat to advance the story this close to the finale. I'm like, how long has Square been pulling this shit on me? But it was pretty quick, and now I'm probably going to end up beating it before the weekend. But the question is,
hell yeah,
what do I play after that? I'm like 2/3 through Spider-Man, but I realize my need to complete all these open world games is driving me insane, so I don't actually want to play any more of Spider-Man right now. So I've got a decision. Persona 3 Reloaded came out. I own it. I want to start it. I want to play this game. But I have an opportunity because my parents are going on vacation, so they're not going to be around to question what's on TV. So do I just try to beat Nier Automata in the next week?
Yeah.
week and a half. So I'm thinking maybe do that first before jumping
Yeah.
into Persona.
Freeman, why don't you just take like 2 days and just play like a shooter to like cleanse or something? Because I feel like you've been on this RPG and open world game kick for such a long time. Like, imagine a world where you beat a game within a week instead of 6 months.
So you're not
Freeman
wrong.
doesn't know that.
You're not wrong.
I'm
Maybe
not
I
saying
should play something smaller.
look. I know this is the kind of game you like, but we've had a lot of we were just talking about how we've done the podcast for 7 years. You've played like 5 games, like 5 overarching games over the course of this podcast. It feels like Persona games and like 1 or 2 of these other RPGs is all you've gotten through over and 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 over again.
Perhaps. I just play a lot of long games. It's
I know, and that's
unfortunate.
fine. That's fine. That's why I'm saying I am being the outside reminder that maybe it would be cool to pick a game like we were talking about Doom, like you do Doom 2016, or like Titanfall 2 is a shooter that I would recommend for a lot, or like maybe play one of the Halo games you didn't get to play.
How long does it take to beat Titanfall 2?
What, Tyler?
Yo,
6,
like 5
7
hours, fam.
Yeah, like it's
like not even.
All right, let's set the
It's a
schedule
short
then.
one.
So, Nier Automata, which is not an RPG, it's an action story game. Then we'll do the Titanfall 2 campaign, and then I'll stall on Persona. Fun fact: I saved up all this PTO to go on ski trips this year, and then didn't do them. So I have some time saved up. And I was debating on, do I just take a week off to play games? And it's like, can I just beat the Witcher DLC during a week off? Perhaps.
I mean,
maybe.
you absolutely could.
Depends. Where are you at?
I just finished the main campaign and need to start the DLC.
Oh. All right, listen.
Is the DLC as long as the main campaign?
Listen. This might sound fucked up, but at risk of you burning out, just skip Hearts of Stone.
Just play the better DLC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just play Blood and Wine.
Okay, I'm not even disagreeing with Tyler. They're different kinds of DLC. Hearts of Stone is a very involved quest that involves a lot of elements from the base game. So it feels very baked in. Toussaint literally feels like a DLC zone. You leave the main game and you go to DLC land. The good thing is that DLC land fucking rocks. Like, Blood and Wine is the reason I will remember Witcher 3 forever. Like, Blood and Wine is so...
Also...
so good.
Yeah. Like, well, not only that, right? Like that, but also... In my opinion, and I'm sure Tim will also agree, Blood and Wine is the definitive ending to Witcher 3. Like, that is
of course. The game's not over until you play Blood and Wine. What? No.
Yeah.
There's an ending.
Yeah, Blood and Wine.
An ending. You will get an ending when you finish the main story. That ending doesn't mean fucking anything compared to the ending of Blood and Wine.
Yeah.
Hold on, we shot past my 9:30 stop. Hold on. I need to run away for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, you're good.
I'll be right back.
Good.
Tim, if you want to talk about Furiosa...
go do your thing.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Everyone's got to do his medicine. So, for Father's Day, I had the great idea where my dad and I were going to go see Furiosa. Tyler was invited, wasn't able to make it. But, Tyler, you're aware, and I know we've talked about... my dad and I both love Fury Road. I've watched it multiple times over the years. Since my dad has cable, he's told me that there are like Friday nights or even just nights. He'll go home from work, turn on the TV and be like, oh, Fury Road's on a channel, and just turn it on and then fall asleep to Fury Road because he'll just watch it over and over again.
Hell yeah.
So we were like, you know what? Furiosa's in theaters. I really want to go do something with my dad for Father's Day. So we went and saw Furiosa. It's fine. Which is disappointing.
You know, I had that feeling.
So we have the podcast to do the saga of me going, the first trailer looks like shit. The CGI looked bad. Mm-hmm. This looks not good. And then the second trailer was like, I think so. the comparison I keep seeing is that this is basically George Miller doing another take on Beyond Thunderdome, where Fury Road was, here is 48 hours of a mission. There is nothing outside of this mission. We hint at a lot of things, but there's nothing, right?
Like in terms of world building, or just in terms
There
of...
is so much talked about, like the green place, who Joe is, the bullet farm, the gas town, like all of that shit comes up heavily in Fury Road, but you see none of it. It is just talked about and is just used as motivation, but none of it is actually directly relevant to the story you're watching in front of you. Clearly, George Miller was like, I want to talk about these things a lot. Because this movie is... Tyler, do you care if I talk about this a little bit?
Nah, it's fine. You can go for it.
The movie starts with Furiosa in the green place. And we see literally 30 seconds of the green place before she is kidnapped and taken out of the green place. Now, it's weird to see in a Mad Max movie a bunch of green, but that's all we see.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Are we losing
there we go.
audio?
No, my mic did the thing where it randomly died for no reason.
Is it just...
I'm back.
Is it just you? Is it just me?
No, the recording was still going. I was still talking, but my mic did the thing where it randomly died. What was the last thing you guys heard me say?
We got 30 seconds of the green place.
Okay. So,
nowhere else has we seen any other green place.
Yes. So we get that she gets kidnapped and then she bounces between warlords and all this shit. The good news is that Chris Hemsworth is clearly having a good time. He's yucking it up as Dementus. He is a wild fucking crazy ride of a warlord. Okay? And then you spend a bunch of time seeing Immortan Joe and like a bunch of the characters in Fury Road. Like they are all hanging out. And a bunch of the actors actually returned to play their roles again. Not gonna lie, it's very weird to hear Immortan Joe talking without the actor who played him in Fury Road. And I don't think this new guy has nearly the presence that he did in Fury Road. Some of the action is pretty cool. And there is some story stuff, like Furiosa and Chris Hemsworth especially have some, like Anya Taylor-Joy and Chris Hemsworth have some really cool scenes together, especially near the end of the movie. But like, I just can't escape. Like, I gave the movie a 3.5. I might almost think it needs to go down to a 3. And I know that's way low compared to a lot of Letterboxd ratings, but like, man, the CGI really does kind of look like shit in a lot of places. And the worst part is a lot of the fighting feels faker. Like, there are scenes where there's a war rig driving, and you have a shot from, like, 20 feet away, and you kind of see bodies just kind of ragdoll fall over. Whereas, like, I remember Fury Road, and, like, you remember the scene where Max is flying over, and they have the big explosion in the middle of everybody? And you're like, how did all these stuntmen not fucking die? They were clearly right next to that giant explosion, and they're still alive. And they're clearly up on those poles, waving back and forth and all that jazz. Like, Fury Road felt so real, and this movie feels like it all takes place in front of a green screen. And it's really fucking disappointing. And I don't think much of it... I think they filmed a lot of it out in the open, but, like... The fact that this movie takes place over all of Furiosa's life actually kind of takes away the weight in a lot of scenes, because it's like, oh no, like 20 war boys just died in this convoy. Good thing we're going to restock for the next scene when there's a new fight scene, so the stakes don't matter anymore. I don't know. The thing I said to my dad, and I think I said it to my in-laws when I saw them after the movie. The biggest problem with this movie is that I did not give a shit about Furiosa after watching Fury Road. I was not like, I love this character so much, I need to know why she is the way she is. Like, I don't fucking care. She's a badass. She wants to go home. She can't go home. She has an amazing scene in that movie, and then she figures out what to do next. I did not need to see her get kidnapped 15 years ago and then keep that revenge plot going until fucking... They literally cut at the beginning of Fury Road. Yeah. And then, oh my god. So, there was like 20 people in this showing. This is just a meta thing before I move on to the next thing. Somehow, even though the theater was almost empty, apparently etiquette is dead where people sat right next to me and my dad, which was, always annoying when you're watching a movie in a theater. And there were a couple...
Like perfect seats, though?
Not even the perfect ones. We were like a little bit away, but everyone just kind of clustered in the middle. But there was a couple talkers in the theater. But when they cut to credits, because the movie literally cuts as the Fury Road movie is about to start, they started showing clips of Fury Road, and as people are starting to walk out of the theater, I just hear a guy say to someone else he was walking out with, "Oh, they're showing clips of a much better movie."
Damn.
I was like, "Jeez," but he's not wrong though. Another good summary. You know what? Let me do the thing where I instead of reading Letterboxd reviews, of other people, I'm gonna read what my Letterboxd review was and just end it there. While the acting is great and some of the scenes are pretty exciting, the CGI felt pretty obvious to me compared to Fury Road, and one fact I couldn't get away from. When I finished Fury Road and nothing about it made me care about where Furiosa came from, I'll probably watch Fury Road a dozen more times before I ever watch this again.
Dang.
That's the long and short of it.
Yeah.
It was fine. I don't hate that I watched it. It doesn't make me like Fury Road more as a prequel. It doesn't make me hate Fury Road either. But I just, I saw it. It's over. Better movie I saw for Father's Day was I stayed up super late on Saturday and watched Ford v Ferrari. This is one of those
I still
movies.
want to watch this one. What'd you think of it?
So I don't know if you guys have these movies that you hear about or maybe see a trailer of and you never end up watching it, but it just kind of floats around in the back of your head. And anytime it comes up, you're like, yeah, that's a movie I want to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's anything in my watch list.
Huh?
It's anything in my watch list.
No, I know, but like there's a lot.
I like enough to put on the list, but not to actually go and put it on my TV.
No, but like I have like 200 movies on my watch list. Most of them I can't remember what's on there, but there are movies where I'm like, you know what? Anytime I hear this name, I'm like, man, I want to watch it. I don't have time right now, but I want to watch this movie eventually. So Val was out for the night, and Henry was asleep, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's almost Father's Day. I'm gonna watch Ford v Ferrari. I'm gonna rent it on YouTube and just sit and watch it.
What a dad movie. By the way,
that's part of why I did it. I caught up on Mushoku Tensei, actually. God damn it.
I'm not caught up. I know there's some dad shit in there. Don't say anything.
I wouldn't have anyway. But I was like, you know what? I caught up on anime. I still got a couple hours before bed. I don't want to start some new show. I'm gonna watch this movie finally. You know what? All I'm gonna do is read the Letterboxd review because I want to let Friedman talk about his other stuff. Somehow, both the closest I'll ever come to knowing what going as fast as possible on four wheels can feel like, and an incredible example of how companies feel like they need to make sure they make every wrong decision while the people who work for them make them right anyway. Yeah, literally, the best way to sum up the movie is Ford wants to win a race. Matt Damon is hired to win the race. How can we stop Matt Damon from winning the race we want him to win? But no, it's very good. Christian Bale does a great job. Anytime he's driving behind a car, the way he's talking and interacting as he's driving, you're like, this has to be what being a driver feels like, where you feel like you're in sync with the vehicle you're driving and the road itself. The way it's shot is good. A lot of the scenes are tense. Matt Damon and him have a lot of good discussions. They clearly have a good friendship. It's a realistic seeming friendship. There's some pretty heartfelt moments where Christian Bale spends with with his son, so that was cute on Father's Day to watch him do like scenes where he's telling his son about the feeling of being behind the wheel. You know, the racing is good and the story's pretty tense, and I was pretty excited all the way through, which I think is the best thing you can say for like a sports movie or a racing thing, because I don't really give a shit about racing in real life, but this made me invested. And it's cool to see them also talk about developing a car to win a race when you've never, like, how do you do that? How do you actually, what do you have to think about to build a car that can drive for 24 hours? Because that's this race they're doing, Le Mans, which is this famous 24-hour race.
Yeah, 24 hours of Le Mans. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you?
You mean that race that still happens?
I'm sure it does. But like, how do you build a car to do that thing? Literally, like, how do you build a car to function like that while also driving 200 miles per hour all the time? It's wild. It was very good. I gave it that had a. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to kick Furiosa down to a 3 because that was a 4-star. It was good. I would watch it again, but I wasn't like, oh my god, this is the greatest movie ever. But it was just good, and I'm very glad I finally got around to watching it.
Nice.
I also, importantly, liked Ford v Ferrari. I didn't even like Furiosa on Letterboxd. That's how big the gap was. But
So you would watch Ford v Ferrari again, right? Or
oh yeah, if you guys wanted to watch it, I would be absolutely down.
nice.
Now that
I don't
Luigi's
know
moving and we're never going to do a
exactly,
Sunday, but what'd you say?
We may never gonna do a Sunday. We still got D&D on
No.
Sunday, bro.
Yeah, I'm saying we're never going to. They got that dog, so now they're going to be busy every Sunday.
We got that dog in them.
I got that dog in them.
I was thinking as I said it, and I was like, no, don't do it, and then you guys both did it. Freeman,
Yeah.
why don't you finish up the shows you had? Because I know you got to drop. We got to stop soon.
I mean, I can keep going in the middle. I still got another 20 minutes. I just need to, listeners, for some context, I had to take antibiotics. I need to defrost. I needed to defrost by 9:30 and totally missed the mark because I was rambling about Final Fantasy VII. But in terms of shows started this week, or in last week's, House of the Dragon premiered 2 nights ago.
Oh boy.
Season 2. Everyone's already up in arms about how viewership is down from season 1.
By 50%.
I can't help but feel like it wasn't 3 years. It was like a 2-year gap. And the fact that I just haven't seen any advertising for this anywhere, like if one of my friends who wasn't obsessed with Game of Thrones didn't tell me, hey, it's coming back in a week, I wouldn't have even known about the premiere.
Yep.
Yeah, I felt like there was no marketing for this season.
It's weird.
There was no build up or anything too. In terms of quality, it's back. It's, if you liked season 1, you're gonna like season 2. I was texting Leslie on the side because she's read all the book material, and we were talking about how it's different.
That's part of
Oh,
why
that's what you mean by House of the Dragon. I said High School of the Dead. No one fucking answered me.
Oh, I didn't realize it was the same. Oh, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, Leslie's watching High School of the Dead. I'm like, there can't be a new season, can they? And I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about?
No, yeah, that's why she came over yesterday, because she got Val and I to watch it, so we have also watched it, Freeman.
All right, cool. Yeah, so stuff obviously played out differently. There's certain characters who are in the books who don't exist. Like, I know Aegon has like 3 kids in the books, but there's only 2 here, and it super mattered in the first episode.
Yep.
So there's some changes. We'll see if it ends up mattering at all. Like, I want to believe the writers make these changes to make a more coherent story, but we'll see, given that Game of Thrones has a track record. But I don't know, man. I'd still enjoy the franchise, so I'm excited to watch this one. And then the other show is watching Evil Season 4. So just a quick recap. The concept of Evil is the Catholic Church gets a ton of requests to do exorcisms, but like most of them are people faking it. So they have a team that they send out to assess whether this phenomenon happening is or isn't supernatural. And so like there's this guy who's trained to be a priest, this like science guy, skeptic, and then the main character she's an ex-lawyer who had a run-in with someone who may or may not be a demon. So she's kind of the balancing line between she's not religious, but she's also not 100% convinced it's all bullshit. And going into season 4, up until now, every episode has like a plot line that'll slowly build the main plot, but they usually just completely drop whatever happens in an episode and just kind of forget it, except for some minor overarching plot details. And it was by far the most annoying part about the show. Going into season 4, for some reason, my whole friend group is convinced that no, in this season, every episode's plot is going to matter. And now they're completely shocked that 4 episodes into the season, they're just dropping plot lines between episodes again, like they've done for the last 3 seasons.
Oh no.
And it's kind of goofy. Yeah. They're half blaming on the fact that the writers' strike happened right at the beginning of the filming of this, so they had to readjust the plot a bit. So I don't have particularly high hopes for how season 4 is going to end, because I think this is the last season for the show. But it's still entertaining. I just don't think they're going to stick a cohesive landing, unfortunately. But I'm along for the ride. Yeah, that was all I wanted to say about that one.
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I do recommend the show. If you like these, it's the real world, but there might be demons, but it's not too hokey. It's certainly an interesting show.
I'll say, is it like a horror, or what is it?
It's not quite a horror. There's bits that are creepy, but it's never actually scary. You'll have parts there'll be a whole episode about a doll might or might not be possessed. So you may have a Chucky-esque plot line for an episode, and they'll prove hey, that doll isn't moving. It's literally just there's a speaker in there, and there's some pedophile connecting to it over the internet or some nonsense. And then sometimes they can't.
Is it evil?
Sometimes it is. Yeah, at the end of season 1, they stopped playing on the idea that they're very coy about whether demons are real or not. And then season 2, they're very explicitly there are demons. There is supernatural shit actually happening, and then there's also stuff that's not supernatural, and they're still trying to discern which is which, while the plot line is more along the lines of what's going on the supernatural side of it.
You know what show this reminds me of, Freeman?
Is it supernatural?
It might be supernatural. Yeah, I think that's where you're getting at.
I'm curious if you like this show. It's
dude, I'm not gonna lie. This actually got, because I think you talked about it before, but I didn't really. But I'm I don't know, you talked about it now. For some reason, how you said, I'm I think I want to give this show a shot right now.
It's interesting. I'd say
that has Mike Coulter in it. I like him.
Mike Coulter. Hold on.
He plays David Acosta.
Oh, he's basically the main character. Yeah, he's really good in this.
He also plays Spartan Locke and Luke Cage.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, let me know if you start it.
Yeah, I'll add it to my, because it's on Netflix, I see.
I know it was. I know it's. I think Peacock has it now for the newest season.
I'll have to see. I can just check Netflix right now. Tim.
Whoa.
I checked your watch list. So I was like, oh, did you ever watch Thunderdome? And it says on here you didn't watch.
No, I heard. I never watched Thunderdome because everyone said this is not like the other Mad Maxes. It's not very good. Don't watch it.
Listen, you and I have to go through so many of these movies. Bad Boys 2, my guy. Let me know when you're trying to watch Bad Boys 2.
Is that on my watch list?
I literally watched that.
Let me remove that from my watch list real quick.
No, dude. That Man on Fire, bro.
Tyler, I'm pretty sure a lot of these are on here because of you.
The Running Man. I'm looking through all of these, and I'm these are all bangers. Platoon,
I'm sure they
Rambo
are.
First Blood, Assault on Precinct 13. Yo, 50 First Dates. I fuck with 50 First Dates.
Oh, God. Tyler, I told you.
Dude,
these are on here because I haven't seen them before, but they just don't stick in my head. But I'm down to, if it's on this list, I'm probably down to watch it. Well, I should take Matrix Resurrections off because I do not want to watch Matrix Resurrections.
Yeah, don't.
310 to Yuma. I'm surprised you never saw 310 to Yuma.
That's you know what? That's honestly probably another one that's floating around back there where I at some point, if the timing strikes right, bam, I'll just throw it on and watch it.
You know who else would watch 310 to Yuma with you?
You.
Yes, but also Leslie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Leslie actually loaned me 310 to Yuma.
Wow.
Funny enough.
I need to go through and prune this list. There's a lot of shitty movies on here.
Most of my list is shitty movies.
I definitely recommended Bone Tomahawk to you.
Probably. I will say there's also a couple movies on here where I have watched the movie, but it's been such a long time that I really want to sit and actually watch it again.
Man. Hell yeah, dude! There's so many of these movies that I would 100% watch again.
I'm sure. I believe you. I'm down
Treasure
to watch
Planet.
mostly...
You need to watch Treasure Planet because I am almost convinced that Aeronauts win this.
Tyler,
Took it from Treasure
I
Planet.
watched Treasure. I know I watched Treasure Planet as a kid,
Oh,
but
that's
I
one of
literally don't remember. Yeah, I know I've
Same,
watched it.
I gotta rewatch this too.
A big chunk of the watch list is I have not watched this since I was a child. I need to if I want to mark it as watched and reviewed, I need to watch it again.
Man, Prince of Egypt.
Oh my fucking god! Another one. I
Yeah,
know
I'm just
I
going
saw
through
Prince
all
of
of
Egypt.
these.
All right, let's fucking stop.
Wait,
Tyler's just going
that's a
through my
must
watch
watch,
list.
isn't you?
See, I should.
Is that a must watch for Jewish people?
Man,
Is that
I
a
gotta
thing?
take.
What,
See,
Prince
like,
of Egypt?
Yeah,
Kind of.
see,
it should be.
You know what's funny? I had the live action Lion King on here, and I just took it off because like, why would I ever? Like, there's movies on here that I think I threw on here because I'm like, oh, this is for posterity. Like, no, I should just. How? God, I don't even want to know how many movies this is, but there's too many. Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, we can end it.
I don't need to watch Amazing Spider-Man 2. I really don't.
Oh, sorry, just to loop back. Evil Season 1 and 2 are on Netflix. So if you want to give it a shot.
And
Yeah,
with
I
that,
Yeah.
we're going to stop here because we just spent over an hour talking about we just broke an hour doing watched and played. So,
Watch
Like we do every
Minority
week.
Report. Like, the
all right.
is this?
So until next time, when maybe we'll do a topic because we're
Raining
not
day.
All right, let's get out of here.
My name is
It's out of control.
Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
I can't believe you haven't seen 40-Year-Old Virgin either.
I know I've watched it. I know I have.
Bull fucking shit.
Are you-
bullshit?
Tyler, you're wrong.
No shot.
I've watched it.
No shot.
I remember
There will
Steve
be blood.
Carell being
Tell
in
me
the...
you've seen There Will Be Blood. You've never seen
All right,
that.
have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Damn.